Hello there, Libra. Thank you so much for stopping by for your tarot video forecast for the week of May the 2nd through the 8th. What I have coming up for your Monday is the Judgment card in reverse. Judgment card in reverse just means you're going to be cutting someone some slack on Monday. In other words, somebody could do something, or somebody will be doing something or saying something that would be very easy for you to take as an insult or an offense. And instead of just totally blasting after them with all guns blazing, you decide to just cut them some slack, give them a break. You don't know what's going on in their life, what's making them act so wacko. And so you just let it go. When I see this card come up, it's a cool card because you are giving somebody grace, and I think most of us are happy to realize, wow, we've grown. We're not like, we're not like where we were when we were 3, when we just got mad when somebody took our Tonka toy away from us, or our Barbie doll, or whatever it was. So there's definite signs of spiritual maturity coming out. But also the other cool thing about this card is when it comes up, generally with the situation, something comes out later on about this other person that you could have been offended at. And you find out, I'm really glad I didn't jump on that person. They had a lot of stuff on their plate. It's not saying that what they did was okay or that it was right, but it is saying that you can almost understand or see how it could have happened the way that it did, given the situation that the person was in. So there's room for compassion there, is the short way to say that. All right, so let's move on to Tuesday. Tuesday, you guys have the 4 of clubs showing up in reverse. This just means somebody leaving the nest. This feels very light to me. Now, sometimes this can mean a temporary separation of a couple, but I don't even think that that really is applying so much to many of you Libras this time. It feels light. It feels like going on vacation. It feels like it may even be you that's leaving the nest, going on vacation, taking a little trip. This could even be doing something in a different location than you would normally do. And this is, it just feels light this time. It's leaving, it's not being in your normal place, but it feels like there's a fun reason for it. So I would love to hear comments about how that manifested for some of you Libras, because that is a definite different feeling than I normally get for that card. So that should be fun to hear about some of the things that you were doing. Oh, and by the way, I wanted to say to you Libras, thank you so much. I was just happened to be looking through the number of views on some of my videos this morning. I don't know what made me even look at that. It's not something that I normally am fascinated by, but I noticed that a couple of weeks back, well, first of all, I noticed you Libras have some of the highest viewer ratings, which really surprised me. I thought that would be water signs because we're more intuitive and we're kind of more into this stuff supposedly. But you guys have been getting some pretty high view ratings, and 2 weeks back, you guys had something completely out of this world, like 6,800 views of the Libra video. I don't even know where that came from, but for those of you who shared this video, because I'm sure several of you had to share it for me to get that kind of views on one video for a week, thank you. Thank you. But that was just amazing number of views. So I do want to thank you, especially for your support, Libras, because that was just out of this world. So thank you so much for that. Now, let's move on to Wednesday. Page of Coins showing up, and the Page of Coins is just telling me that you are getting some good news about money on Wednesday. So this is always a fun card to have come up. This can be finding out that you're going to get a bonus. If you're an investor, this can be finding out that your dividend's bigger than you thought it was going to be. This can be finding out that the IRS says that you've paid all your taxes when you thought you had another payment to go. This can be all kinds of things. It can manifest a zillion and one different ways, but it's good news about money or about material resources. So this also could be something like maybe your company wants to buy a cell phone for you, or they want to pay for your cell phone bill or something like that. But anyway, you get the picture. It's good news about money coming in on Wednesday. Now Thursday, we have a different kind of energy. This is the 8 of Swords, and the 8 of Swords tells me that you're feeling stuck about something on Thursday, and this is something that is you're stuck because of something that you're thinking. There's something about your perspective that's keeping you stuck with this situation. So it's not so much that the tangible reality of the situation has you stuck as much as it's how you're looking at it. So my advice anytime this card comes up is always to see if you can get a different perspective. Sometimes it takes having a conversation with somebody else who's not so close to your situation and just saying, you know, this is what's going on, blah, 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 and see what their reaction is. Sometimes their reactions will really surprise you and it'll wake you up. You'll go, whoa, yeah, why have I been handling it like that? But sometimes you don't even have to actually have those conversations. A lot of times you can imagine telling your neighbor about the situation, and the response that they might have would be something that you could even imagine. You know, what if I was on the outside looking in? What would I think if I heard me saying these things? And just to be able to look at it that way may be enough to give you that change of perspective to realize where you've been limiting yourself and set yourself free there. So we do have free will. Just because it shows up that you're limited on Thursday by your own thinking doesn't mean that you have to be. Doesn't mean that that has to stay that way. You can choose to find a way to get a different perspective on this so that you can see where you're doing that self-limiting and you can release yourself. Okay, so also, by the way, this is a general reading, so not everything I say is going to happen for every single Libra. On Friday, Queen of Swords showing up in reverse. This is somebody that you're interacting with on Friday for most of you. For a few of you, this feels like it's going to be you, but for most of you, it's somebody that you're interacting with on Friday. This is, for most of you, a female, although not for all of you, but this is somebody who has definitely been through the ringer lately. I mean, they have gone through some stressful situations, things that would make anybody cringe and pull their hair out, okay? And I feel like this lady did not bring these stressful situations on herself, and yet there they were, and she had to deal with them. This can be anything from maybe this lady's spouse has passed away and she was left with all of this mess that she had no idea that he was keeping in his drawer. And when I say mess, this could be like financial mess. I mean, this is big stuff that she's dealt with. And it has been extremely stressful. When you're seeing her on Friday, she's seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. She's starting to find ways to be happy in spite of what she's been through. She's starting to be able to laugh and have fun again. And I feel like you guys are going to laugh and have fun. I also feel like her sense of humor has been modified by whatever she's been through. So some of the jokes that she says or some of the things that she finds humorous are not going to be the same as what she found humorous before necessarily, or there may be a new aspect to her humor that maybe wasn't there before. So like in my instance, after my significant other passed away, I never really said that he died. I never really said that much that he crossed over, that he transitioned. I was mad at him for leaving. And so I started saying he kicked the bucket whenever he kicked the bucket. And it was kind of my way of making light of the situation, even though I was not feeling very light about it. But it definitely brought a change to my sense of humor. And when somebody passes away, I look at that much differently than I used to. And so my sense of humor is completely different around that type of situation. So that's kind of an example of how there's something that about what she's been through that she has this different perspective about situations like that, and now she can laugh about them. And it's different than before, and it may be a little bit off-putting or a little bit unsettling. I know that when I talk to people about my significant other who kicked the bucket on me, some people are not comfortable with that. Understandably. And I feel like she may be causing kind of that uncomfortable reaction in you whenever she's talking. I think it's important also to remember that her being able to have a sense of humor about this is her way of coping and of dealing with the stress and taking some of that heaviness out of it when she thinks about it. So it's important not to criticize or look down on her because of this new aspect of her sense of humor, but to realize this is a coping mechanism for her. And if it works, hey, you know, thank God, at least she's smiling, at least she can find some happiness now. Okay, so enough about this one poor lady that you're going to to talk to on Friday who's finding your happiness. Let's move on to the rest of your week. On Saturday, you have the Five of Cups showing up. Five of Cups just tells me that there's something that has gone on that has been a disappointment to you. And what you're doing on Saturday is you're resetting your priorities. You're sort of reorganizing where you want to put your energy and your resources so you can sort of avoid that disappointment or minimize that disappointment as much as you can in the future. So it's just resetting priorities, kind of fine-tuning and tweaking your plan about whatever this was. Now, Sunday, you guys have the Page of Clubs showing up in reverse. The Page of Clubs in reverse is telling me that you're getting in a message that says, hey, you've got a chore to do. And it's not a creative chore, it's more of a mundane chore, but it is something that needs to be done. So this is not necessarily that you're actually doing this task on Sunday, but it is having that thought of, oh yeah, I've got to remember to do such and such. Or, you know, getting in a message that says, you know, we need you to help at the next PTO meeting or PTA meeting or whatever that is. You have to forgive me, I don't have children, and it's been a long time since I've had stepchildren, so I don't know exactly. But anyway, parent teachers, whatever that is. And that's just one example, but it's something that it's a chore that you need to do that really is not something that requires any creative juices. It's not something that you get to think about or have fun with or customize in your own personal way. It's just a very mundane thing that you could almost do in your sleep, and you just kind of have this remembering of, oh yeah, I've got to take care of that, or a new message coming in saying, oh, you know, this is on your list of things to do now. So anyway, that is your week, Libras. Thank you so much once again for all of your support, for stopping by, hanging out, liking, sharing, subscribing, and commenting. I do appreciate all the support from you guys. Everyone have a fantastic week, and I will see you back here the next time. Peace out.